one last point that I wanted to point out about cutting off distractions. If you are one of those persons that, if you see your phone, you're gonna constantly be reaching out to it, put it like as far away as you can. Like if put like literally hide it from you, because that's gonna, the fact that it's not in your visibility zone is not gonna give a reminder that you want to check it. You want to check it. So that's another trick that you can do. I usually just have it like in front of me. I have a wired charger, leave it there,
Hmm.
don't touch it. I'm very conscious about like my time. So good morning, everybody. It's a cold Thursday, December 17th. It is snow. It's a fucking gorgeous outside, but it's break today. I'm shivering a little bit.
Hmm.
But yeah, so welcome back to the podcast. Shout Painful. Quick disclaimer: this is for entertainment purposes only. So don't take everything said on this podcast to the heart or seriously. This is just a conversation between me and Randy. Cool.
All right. So on the topics on the topics for the personal development, we have tips to take an exam. My boy Michael here is taking a final today, so we're
Mhm.
gonna see what he's got in the tank there. On the fitness, we have adding more calories when it's difficult to gain weight. And on the finance, we have how much money should I start out with to invest?
Cool. All right, yeah, like Randy mentioned, I am going to take my final exam today, which is pretty exciting. I wouldn't be done with school yet though, because I still have two projects to do. But I kind
Almost
of want to
there.
walk over like some of the things that I do to prepare myself to for any exam. I already took my other exams on Tuesday and one yesterday, but today is my final. This has actually been the hardest class for the semester. So I kind of want to work over like my strategies and how did I approach studying, a few exams during this kind of unprecedented times because there's no library and I gotta be home all the time. All right, cool, boom. So first thing first is cut off distractions. Your phone is going to be the biggest one. So I I avoid going to my phone pretty much most of the day. How you can kind of limit social media is with the if you have an iPhone, they have that set limit time for the apps that like apps that you wanna set a limit time. And I did that for all my social media, so I've been avoiding going to my phone. Now that doesn't mean that sometimes on my little breaks I want to check my social media. I do it on my computer. It's a little bit more work to do. So something you're not gonna be checking your social media frequently as before. So I think that's one of the best things that you can do. Take breaks between the studying. So whether you rewatching the lectures, whether you um, reviewing your notes, take breaks. So I usually go half an hour straight, complete focus, and after that half an hour, I go get some water, just walk around my house. Just usually I'm here by myself, so there's not much to do, so I just like walk around. But once my family is here, I usually just spend some time with them, like 15 minutes with them, and then I come back to studying. Good. Now, when it comes to like complete focus or like you writing something, writing notes, search for by naturals beat. I think that's what they call. Um, well, but it's kind of like like music to a study. So it's just beats. It's nothing like with the words. Not even lo-fi, because I found lo-fi sometimes I'd be like bumped into it, but I wasn't really concentrating. But yeah,
What
so
was it
these beats
again?
are kind of like really good and helpful to keep you concentrated, keep your mind on the specific topic that you uh studying. So that been really helpful. I literally been writing like essays. I have a project, two projects due tomorrow, and I've been like writing papers straight for like an hour or so. You either I always say this, you either write the paper or you either fall asleep because this type of music also you used to fall asleep, but it's really good.
Wait,
um,
what's the music?
Now let me search it up. It's by natural.
By
Wait,
Natural?
it's something with by. Oh, binaural beats. So B A
Binaural?
binaural. No, it's BINAURAL beats.
I think it's binaural, but whatever. But yeah, I get you.
Binaural, something like that. I don't know how to pronounce that, but it's really good. It's really interesting music. Like it's straight focused. Now, the day of the exam, I usually go to bed. I usually try to get at least 8 hours of sleep before the day of the exam. So like last night, I went to bed super early, and I woke up like right now because I try to get my mind as much rest as I can. Very very helpful. Now, when maybe you stay late, like, or you keep studying, like right now I'm gonna go back to reviewing some notes. Usually the day of the exam I don't do heavy studying, so I just do like reviewing notes, reviewing previous exams, and getting everything set up for the exam. But I usually don't do any like memorizations or any like practices no more. But if you do that, make sure that you give your brain a rest. So when I do like heavy studying on the same day, what I like to do is take a 20 minutes uh, nap right before the exam. Well, not right before the exam, but like within 1 hour before the exam, you take a nap. 20 minutes is like the perfect time for a nap. 20 to 25 minutes, I would say. Uh, but that gives your mind like rest. So once you wake up, you're energized, you're ready to go. And trust me, it helps like a lot because your mind is fresh. Um, Other than that, now because now all the exams are online, most of them might be open book. Usually with open books, to be honest, they don't really help because like usually those exams are kind of more like critical thinking. So make sure that you have a blank piece of paper next to you, and because you're ready to write, analyze the questions, and tackle them. If it's multiple choice, they're a bit more easier. You can just do, a process of elimination from your knowledge. It's really good. So that's some tips that I have for you. Um, I don't think I'm forgetting anything.
No, it's pretty good.
Yeah, yeah. Also, coffee. Try not to drink too much coffee.
Yeah, I would say
Drink
you should.
water. Yeah. No, you should be drinking water all the time. Like, and
No,
also,
definitely water all the time, but a little coffee doesn't hurt.
yeah, and also, what is with water? Drink it from like a cup of water, like cup like this. Like a cup, not from water bottles, because what it's gonna force you to do is walk to the kitchen, refill the water, come back, and then maybe after like 10 or 15 minutes, you're gonna go use the bathroom. But these are like little breaks that you're gonna take, and it really helps to
Mm,
keep concentrating on it. So it's just little tips that I have developed for all my academic years, to be honest.
right. Yeah, I would say that's pretty similar to what I usually do, anyways. Is there anything to add to that? No, I just feel like be really good about taking those little breaks because oftentimes you try to like crank out as much studying as you can in one sitting, right? And you try to sit there for like 2 hours without taking a break. And what ends up happening is that you start getting distracted. Even if you're there and you're writing and you're listening to the lectures or you're listening to a video or something, your mind is going to start to wander.
Yes.
You're just going to be there completely out of it, like writing everything down, but you're thinking about something totally different. And then you're going to have to sit there and do the lesson again because you weren't paying attention. So it's better to just, find that zone where you have full concentration, utilize that if it's 10, 20, 50 or 10, 20, 30 minutes, and then, get everything down, take a break, reset, and do it again. Because we live in an age nowadays where our attention span is a lot shorter than what it used to be,
Mm-hmm.
right? Just simply because of the way we've been conditioned with all the social media, the way we consume content and media in general. It's instant, it's quick. You don't really have to wait. So when it comes to studying, the problem is you have to be patient and it's going to take you time to understand the concepts. And we've been slowly but surely conditioning ourselves out of that. And that kind of goes back to a conversation about education and maybe reform because
Mm-hmm.
where we're at today as a society is not the same way that the schooling system is structured, or at least it should be structured. because it's a totally different thing.
No,
But
definitely, I definitely agree with that.
in
It's
any
like,
case, that's about it.
yeah, it's like we're screaming for educational reform in not just here in the US, everywhere to be honest. But there's some countries that had developed new education systems that actually proved to be working. But it's a little bit scary because it's a lot of change, and
It's not only that,
there's a
there's a
lot of money
lot
in
of money
education.
invested. Yeah, there's a lot of money invested in not changing things.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, and one last point that I wanted to point out about cutting off distractions. If you are one of those persons that, if you see your phone, you're gonna constantly be reaching out to it, put it like as far away as you can. Like if put like literally hide it from you, because that's gonna, the fact that it's not in your visibility zone is not gonna keep a reminder that you wanna check it. You wanna check it. So that's another trick that you can do. I usually just have it like in front of me. I have a wired charger, leave it there,
Hmm.
don't touch it. I'm very conscious about like my time. So that works.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that covers it. We can dive deep into education, like as a topic itself, another
Hmm.
day. Like, what do you think should be not implemented, rather than how it is now. Right? We can
Right.
leave that
Sure.
for another day.
All
All
right.
right, let's jump into
So,
fitness. This is all
mhm.
you, my guy. Adding more
so,
calories when it's difficult to gain weight.
so yeah. This one's pretty straightforward. There's not really much to it. And here's the thing: between us two, we really don't have this problem.
Mhm.
It's usually the opposite. It's easier to gain weight just by eating less. So that goes back to a conversation of metabolism that we discussed before. But just as a whole, some decent or some general tips that usually work out pretty well for most people that I've seen or that I've
Mhm.
trained in order to gain weight when it's really difficult. Um, so healthy fats, that's usually going to be one of their go-tos, just simply because they're so packed with calories. And if you do it right, you're not really consuming too much more food than what you're accustomed to. Because at this point, it's about getting used to eating more food generally. Because I know a lot of people that have the struggle with weight gain usually say that they think they're consuming a lot of food because it feels like a lot for them. But generally, they're not really consuming a lot of food. And even if they are, it's not enough because obviously your metabolism is so much faster than what you anticipate or what most people have.
Mhm.
So healthy fats are definitely going to be one of your go-tos. So again, think nuts, seeds, butters, oils, peanut butter, coconut oil, or coconut butter, or almond butter. I really like that, especially for just packing on some weight. You can throw that on some bread or some crackers or whatever the case might be. Um, let's see what else. You can also implement shakes, like we have talked about before. You can do like a really, I wouldn't say unhealthy, but a really a shake that's meant for calories, right? So for those people that are training at the gym, they usually have these mass gainers at like any health store.
Mhm.
So they usually just contain a lot of just stuff. It's not necessarily the most healthy stuff, but it's just a bunch of stuff packed into one container to just maximize calories. And usually, like one serving of that is like 700 calories. So you bump that with two servings. It's a big shake. You could drink that. That's literally like two meals. If you can do that and supplement a meal, like an actual meal, with some
Mhm.
decent calories, then you're consuming about 2,000 calories right there. And a lot of it was just liquid. So there's definitely a lot of ways to go about just adding more calories and not really making it that difficult. But I would say those are some decent little tips that you can do.
Interesting. Yeah, definitely. That's really interesting facts on aspect about, like there's actually people who struggles like gaining weight, and
Mm.
it's an
A
issue.
really small minority.
Well, it is, yeah, but sometimes it can become like a major issue because like your body needs some sort of energy, and remember, calories are energy for your body. So maybe you're gonna feel weak, and there's some consequences with it as well. Me, I personally don't have the issue. I whatever I eat, it reflects really instantly. But but now, They were good tips. I don't have anything else to add up to the topic, to be honest.
So, there's also one thing. So
Hmm.
yeah, like it might not seem that it's a bad thing that like you're not gaining weight or anything, but
Hmm.
if you're pretty skinny and you're trying to consume enough food, but it's just not working out. Here's
Hmm.
one thing to keep in mind. Usually, the people that are struggling to gain weight are usually malnourished. And not to say like, oh, you're not eating food. It's just you're not eating a sufficient amount of food for your body to kind of just help itself develop and grow. So be really diligent about the fact that you really should be at a point where you're actually gaining weight or you know how to gain weight. Because if you're eating food and you're not gaining weight and you're really skinny and thin, um, this is really going to make you fragile, right? Your
Hmm.
bones are going to be weak. You're not really going to have muscle development, so that's not going to be there. Maybe you have low body fat, but that doesn't necessarily mean that's a good thing either. Because here's another thing: you can very easily get cold because you don't have any insulation, specifically with internal body fat, which is another thing that we can talk about. There is external body fat, which is usually the body fat that you see outside, but there's internal body fat that kind of helps insulate the body, keep your core temperature down or up, and kind of protect your organs in the body. If you have really low in body fat within that specific category,
Hmm.
that very easily can lead to injuries or many health complications. So really focus on trying to gain weight if you're struggling, simply because it's just a good thing for longevity's sake.
Nice. Interesting.
And that's that.
That's pretty cool, man. All right, let's jump into the finance section. How much money should I start out with to invest? So this is specifically if you're trying to invest, so put on long term. How much money you
Mhm.
think it's necessary to begin with?
So if you would have gone back, I would say what any no 5 to 7 years ago, I would probably say maybe 2-3 thousand minimum, and then just
Hmm.
grow that up over time. But geez, but with the new thing of fractional shares, right? With that new aspect,
Hmm.
you can buy as little as $1 of anything. So at this point, you don't even need that much money to start investing, especially if this is going long term. So at this point, you can probably start out with anything as little as $100, 50,
So
10
then,
bucks.
yeah, definitely. Like if same thing, if you were to ask me like 4 years ago when I started trading, I had said $1,000 to begin because that would be like a good amount that where you can put on some stocks because most of the stocks are well, like the good stocks ranges from like $100 to $200 back in the day, back then. But now, same thing as Randy mentioned, you can start as little with like $100 or like even $1. Well, not too long. I would say like whatever you can spare, whatever savings you have. Well, not all the savings, but whatever money that you can spare, and you. Well, this is mainly for investment. So not the money that you can lose, like the money that you can save. So we can actually go into like dividing your savings. So let's say you have like a savings of $1,000. So now you do need some emergency money, like emergency capital. Now, whenever you need it, you can just reach out to it. So I would have said 90% of it, oh, well, maybe like 75% of it, leave it for emergency fund. Then the other 75%, put it
25.
into investment portfolio, and then you keep adding that money um, partially. So you add the savings as well as you keep adding the investment. So whatever you
Mm-hmm.
have, it's definitely good to start investing like now, because it grows. Like it's also secure. It's not as trading where there's more risk involved. So investment is always going to be a little bit more secure, especially if you invest on ETFs. You're gonna lose maybe like 1% to 2%, depending on the markets at that time. But if you look at it, if you're planning to invest in the long term, so a year or 2 years from now, you're gonna see a gain of a 5 to even like 10 or 20% on ETFs. So it's kind of like saving, but you're getting some value for
Much
it.
better returns.
Yeah. The only difference is that, in savings, you have that cash accessible anytime that you need it. Whereas investment, you will have to go through a brokerage. So you wouldn't have your money. Let's say you sell all your trades, all your investments. You wouldn't have like in a week your money on your bank account.
Yeah,
So
so
that's
it
the
take a
only
little bit
difference.
longer.
It takes a little bit longer to get access to it. But other than that, you don't need as much money as you think to start investing now, especially with fractional shares, like Randy mentions. A lot of brokerage are offering that now. Robinhood is a very popular one that does that. That does it. So look into it. If you want to start investing, definitely do with the money that you have to spare, the money that
Hmm.
you have on the side. That you don't need it, that you don't, you're saving.
There's also some another thing that some of the brokerages are implementing. Um,
Hmm.
what was it? Acorns, I think. There's some other ones now. With their roundups feature, right?
Right.
So you attach some sort of account that has a credit card or whatever, or a debit. Maybe? No, I think it's just credit.
Debit, it's just debit.
It's just debit. Okay, so with that debit card, whatever you spend money on Acorns, what they do is take whatever in terms of like cents that you ended up purchasing. So let's say you bought something for $1.23. The remaining share or the remaining cents gets added into the account, rounded up to the nearest dollar, right? So in that sense, it's really convenient simply because you're going to basically just be passively buying
Hmm. I
shares
mean,
and
you don't really
stocks.
have to buy it. It does it for you.
Yeah, it does it automatically so long as you
Hmm.
have the thing connected. Obviously, you'll spend a little bit more money in terms of, if you buy something for $1.23 and then this thing rounds it up, now you're spending about $2.
Hmm.
But that extra money is going to go towards an appreciating thing, right? Because usually the markets always go up unless our society goes to shit. So
Exactly.
definitely an good feature that you could use if you want to just completely not think about investing or trading or have any plans or strategies or anything. You just want to have something there. Definitely a good thing you can have.
And another option also will be 401k.
401.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's another, like, it's literally the same concept. So, but the difference is that it goes straight from your paycheck and you put
Hmm.
into a brokerage account that is going to be there for the future.
Hmm.
There are some downsides to it. I don't remember well what they are, but we can investigate and maybe talk about 401k, like the difference between 401k and private apps.
Yeah,
There's
that's
not.
another thing. 401k, IRA.
Yeah, I think there is a downside because I remember I was looking into that before. But we can
I
check
think
on
one
that.
is not, I think it's
I
not tax
think
deductible.
I don't remember well, but we can look into that. But
Yeah.
yeah, like once again, you don't need much money to start investing today. Like literally, just go to your Apple, to whatever, like Android, Google Play, no, Google Store or Apple Store, and just sign up for this app. Sign up for this brokerage. Now, if you want like a more established brokerage, they are like out there. Or M1 Finance is also like a really good app that I've been checking it out. Acorns, Stat. There's so many apps out there right now. You gotta go with one that you feel more comfortable with. So definitely look into that on your own time. Like check reviews, check videos about them, how to use them, which one is more convenient for you, because you have to sign up for your account, and this is going to be linked to your social security. So maybe we could talk about the process of how to do it as well.
Hmm.
But yeah, so when it comes to putting money on the brokerage, it's simple as just linking your debit card to or your bank account to the brokerage and transfer $100 that you have just there, or like
Hmm.
$1,000. It will be up to you how much money you decide to put into it. And once you do that, you can just instantly just buy an ETF. Let's say SPY is about 250, but you can buy a partial share of it. Now SPY, it's pretty much the SP500. So whatever the SP500 is doing is gonna follow. And if you
Hmm.
notice, the charge for the SP500 is always gonna go up, always. So that's a really good one that you can invest. Another one is SPYD. which is high dividend companies of the SP500, you can do that as well. There are multiple ETFs out there. If you want to specify like a little bit more, like focus on a certain category, there's ETFs for real estate, for gold, for commodities, for precious materials. Literally, whatever you think about, there's going to be an ETF regarding that sector. So look into that. If you think, maybe you have a prediction, a precious metal is going to go to the roof, invest on that. It's your investment, and we always encourage to, listen to your intuition, because sometimes your intuition is going to be, most of the time, your intuition is going to be right than just listening to others, or listening to us. Sometimes we make mistakes.
For sure.
But yeah, I think that covers that. What do you think?
Yeah, no, that's about it. Let me just take a look real quick here.
Also, if you feel more secure, if you want to be more confident, more secure that your money is safe, you can always go into a like a professional brokerage.
Right. But I mean, that one, I would, at this point, like, we're always talking about it, so I would suggest that you actually learn the skill on your own. But if you're really not interested at all, then yeah, you can have some money given to a broker, and they can do something with that. But yeah, that's about it. So again, you don't really need that much money. You don't have to go with like the most craziest thing. You don't have to buy Amazon right off the bat. Even nowadays, Amazon isn't really such a good buy, simply because they've been stagnating a lot in terms of price. They've been doing a lot globally, but they've already grown so much as is.
Exactly.
So just going back to like which brokerages you can use in terms of fractional share buying. So you mentioned a couple there. You have Stash, Robinhood, but some other ones are Fidelity and M1 Finance. But the way M1 Finance does it is a little different than all the other guys, but they all have fractional share buying.
Very good. Yeah, we'll give you a couple options, guys. It will be up to you to take the initiative and start investing now. Regardless of what age you are, unless you're under 18. Because
yeah, even that. But with that, I would then just say use a paper trading account.
Yeah, but that's more like trading, though. That's not investing.
Right.
Cool.
No, you can pretend to invest with the paper trading account and kind of learn.
Well, that's true. But cool. All right. On the news, there are news about the stimulus package. It will be out of delivery, but the House is meeting today and the Senate is meeting tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken. But these are the layouts. These are the outline. So it's going to be about 900 billion, and includes fundings for another round of direct payments checks of about 600 to 700 for people earning under a certain income threshold. Continuations of paycheck protection program for small businesses, supplemental federal unemployment benefits, and vaccine distributions and schools. That's where that bill is proposed to be. So we will get in news to whether that plan gets accepted or gets rejected once again, probably by tomorrow afternoon, because the House is meeting tomorrow. But yeah, looking ahead, the House could vote on the stimulus bill today, followed by the Senate tomorrow, if all of these members are on board. But if there's any sags, votes could spill into the weekend. So by Monday, we should get a clear view of what is going to happen. Then we have, I was looking into, Robinhood actually got a lawsuit from Massachusetts. So let me read this. Massachusetts securities regulators filed a complaint against the popular stock trading platform Robinhood for prioritizing its revenues over the best interest of customers, according to documents reviewed by the Washington Street Journal. Now, it's Wall Street Journal, but Okay, good. So regulators argued that Robinhood exposes its customers to unnecessary trading risk. Robinhood said its app has opened up financial markets for a new generation of people who were previously excluded. They're both right, but one thing that I agree with Massachusetts is that everybody can go into trading nowadays, and this increases the risk. Now, I don't know if you notice this every time that you trade with Robinhood, the best way to trade or to buy a stock a certain path, certain dollar is going to be with limit. Else,
Yeah,
you're always going to be paying extra cent, or you're going to be when you're selling it, you're always going to lose extra 5 cents. I don't know if you have
because
noticed.
they always make you buy at the ask and sell at the bid, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now this is how they actually make revenue, Robinhood. So it's kind of true how what they're explaining, because I saw like a whole documentary about how Robinhood makes its revenue, and it's kind of like a little scam. But you don't notice it because it's like few cents, few pennies. But when it comes to like when you're buying like a
Millions of
hundred shares,
transactions a day.
yes, when you're trading like 100 or like 200 actions, it's gonna be noticeable because it's gonna be like $100 or like and so forth. So be careful with that. That's why whenever I do a trade on Robinhood, I always set a limit price. Limit prices is pretty much you set a price that you're willing to pay. Once it reaches to the price, it sells it or it buys it at the price. So we can go into that a little bit more later. But that's
Hmm.
pretty much it on my end.
But bro,
Mm-hmm.
what's going on with Bitcoin, man? Told me to
Oh
sell.
shit, Bitcoin, bro, 20K.
No, it's at
I
22 right now.
Oh fuck. I did not see that coming at all. I didn't. Well, we'll see what happens. I mean, the thing I was reading up yesterday, it was because some like prestige investment hedge funds and banks, they're actually going with Bitcoin. They're actually investing in Bitcoin. I don't remember well which hedge fund announced or kind of like publicly, said that they have like over like 128 billion or million. I think it was million on Bitcoin. So,
Mm,
for an investment industry, an investment company to be investing that amount of money on Bitcoin is because, they see the potential now. They see how it can grow. Now, it only
hmm
took, 4 years to go back to this point. Well, we'll see if it can sustain. I believe it can because there's actually countries that uses cryptocurrency as their currency, and it's kind of crazy. I think is either Switzerland or Netherlands. But to
mm,
one European country that you go everywhere, you can pay on Bitcoin, you can pay on cryptocurrency, which is amazing because
right, right.
there's we can see a global currency eventually in the future, like 5 to 10 years.
That is the hope.
There are consequences, though, in my
Yeah, for
opinion.
sure. But that speaks to one of the things here in terms of diversifying, right? So
Hmm.
it's good to, at this stage of the game to actually own some cryptocurrency simply because we don't know. Like we were expecting this thing to drop and all of a sudden it bounced back and now it's at all-time highs. It hit 23,000 yesterday, actually, not 22. And now it's just pulling back slightly. So at the end of the day, it's not necessarily about like what you think is the best deal, but just having some skin in the game and being diversified in such a way where, you're not
Yeah.
hedging your bets on any one thing, but at least you have exposure to many things. That's basically how you win this game. Just having enough
Hmm.
on having a little bit in every pie, as so to speak, just to make sure that everything is kind of balanced out, as opposed to you just thinking that it's only going to be on one thing. That's everything is going to happen because it doesn't have to. And oftentimes, what ends up happening is that everything doesn't go according to plan, and then that's how people lose their money, or that's how people just they start bag holding, and it becomes a problem in the long term. So
Definitely, definitely.
definitely want to be diversified in that sense.
Yeah, I would definitely look into like joining on Bitcoin. Like I said, last year I had to take my money out. I had like a Bitcoin, like one Bitcoin on it, because I had like 4,000 on it, and combined with Bitcoin, Ethanol, and
Ethereum.
Litecoin, and then I had
Mm.
to take it out because of personal reasons. And now I'm seeing the pros and cons, but it is what it is. I will see if I can jump in, if I can catch in a good price, because I don't want to catch it on when it's like a 23 on like its peak and then start downfalling from there. I'm gonna look into that now that I will be done with classes. I will be doing more research on this, on Bitcoin, and also other companies that I've been putting my eye on. But yeah, other than that, bro, it's getting lengthy. Let's cut it off right here.
Yes, sir.
We will talk tomorrow, and we will see
Peace.
everybody tomorrow. Peace.